Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Aesthetic and Wellness Edge. I'm your host, Bethany Gifford, and today we're diving into one of the most fascinating intersections in modern wellness. It's how gut health connects to aesthetics, hormones, and longevity. But first, a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by New Era Intel. At New Era Intel, we help medical spas, dermatology clinics, and plastic surgery practices who are struggling with inconsistent patient retention, underutilized CRM systems, and manual systems that hold back your clinic's growth potential so they can finally increase quality repeat bookings, streamline operations with AI automation, and grow predictable monthly revenue with the right systems and strategy. They're able to create a premium, seamless patient experience while freeing up their team to focus on what they do best. If you would like to take your business to the next level, head over to neweraintel.com to get started.
Now, joining me today is David Finkelstein, Chief Marketing Officer for Doctors Biome. It is a pioneering company redefining gut health with living liquid probiotics. Their formulations are alive, growing, and delivered in organic juices that serve both probiotic and prebiotic sources, helping the body restore balance at a cellular level. David, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you here today.
Thank you very much, Bethany, and thank you very much for having me on.
Well, let's start at the beginning. What inspired the creation of Doctor's Biome, and how did your partnership with Dr. Robbins and Dr. Kumari come together?
Sure. We're about 7 years old now, and initially the genesis was Dr. Robbins, who was friendly with my dad, Richard Finkelstein. Um, he's a ozone doctor, and he's practicing medicine, and he wanted another solution for probiotics in his practice. In his practice, he needs to replenish gut microbiome. So he was looking on the market for products and solutions, and whatever he was finding really wasn't working for what he wanted to do. That's when he kind of came across the idea of a liquid living probiotic and pitched it to my dad, who um, is not directly in the health space, but more in the business space. And he thought that would be a great team. Him, Dr. Robbins being the doctor and the health and science aspect, and my dad being the business aspect. Um, so really that was the genesis of it. It didn't start necessarily as a business. It started with just Dr. Robbins looking for a much better solution for his patients to restore their gut microbiome and probiotics. And it really started from there. Um, Dr. Kamari came in, so we started he's our third food scientist and our last that we needed. But it started with one other person who was going to help in the food science realm, and the formula is ended up being trickier and more difficult than we could imagine. But to create a great product, sometimes you have to go through some of that research and development. So we ended up working with two other food scientists that just, for whatever reason, just couldn't figure out how to make what we wanted to do. And that's when we eventually got connected with Dr. Kamari, who has worked on some impressive projects with a PhD from MIT. And he was really able to take the formula kind of over the edge to where it needed to be a functioning, living liquid probiotic, and, you know, provide all the benefits that Doctor's Biome is able to provide. Um, so he really finished off the research and development, and it took a couple years um, to just even come out with a product. We really didn't have a business going on, just trying to formulate the product and test it and see how to make it. Um, and that really was kind of the genesis and the beginning of how we got started.
That's incredible. I mean, those early years of research sound pretty intense. I can't imagine. Well, This probiotic is so amazing, and I've had the privilege of trying it over the past month, and I could not say better things about it. It is amazing, and I can't wait for long-term results, of course. But for our listeners who might not be taking probiotics, or they are, and it's in a capsule or a powder, what makes Doctor's Biome so different?
Sure, sure. So, specifically, as you mentioned, to capsule and tablet forms, a probiotic is a living organism. So it is very important what kind of environment it comes in and how it's treated before you ingest it, you take it. Um, so most of the tablets and capsules and powders are freeze dried, and the hope is that when you take them, that the probiotics come back to life in your digestive system and your stomach system, um, and provide the benefits they've been shown to provide. Unfortunately, your body has a lot going on, and it's very difficult for the freeze-dried probiotics to come back to life, in the harsh acidic environment of your stomach and your digestive system. And that's where Doctor's Biome is different. As you mentioned in the opening, and we like to say, kind of one of our slogans is liquid living probiotics. So the second it goes into the bottle, the probiotics are living. And as you mentioned, there's prebiotic fiber in the form of juice. Depending on the product, they're slightly different juices, but they act as the same purpose. So the probiotics are living and feeding off the prebiotic fiber in the organic juice that is in the product. So when we start, uh, every bottle is guaranteed to have 27 billion CFUs, or colony forming units of probiotics. However, since they're living and growing, after week one, it'll be 50 billion. After a month, it'll be 100 billion. And we've charted this and graphed it out because we had to know when the life cycle of the product is. But, it's living and growing from day one, and it'll continue to do so for about 4 months, as long as it's refrigerated, and then that's when, the probiotics start to decline eventually. Um, but if you're taking it within the time frame of the manufacture date and when to consume by, um, you're getting a lot of liquid living probiotics that are a lot better equipped, if you will, to help to stick to the lining of your gut wall and to help your body and to help your, you know, digestive system and so many other things that it can do. Um, that's where it's really a little different from a lot of the probiotic tablets, capsules, and powders on the market, and why
Yeah.
it took so long to formulate. When you're dealing with a living probiotic, it's a state that's a lot harder to maintain stability and shelf stability, um,
I
as
can
opposed
imagine.
to, a lot of the other methods. So yeah, that was a lot of the reason why it took such a long time.
Well, every innovation has hurdles in the beginning, and it looks like you guys came out with an incredible, beneficial product. So, I know you had mentioned some of the biggest challenges you faced, in creating the product, especially one that kinda has to stay refrigerated, and maintain stability over time. So, hurdle, check. You guys did that one, so that's great. Well, balancing the science behind this, because I know a lot of people on here have wellness clinics, and they are constantly trying to, educate their patients on gut health. So I know that you had mentioned it'd been kind of a challenge to be able to educate, with the science. So help people understand why the living probiotics matter, and how do you kind of approach the balance between, educating and then marketing?
Yeah, it's a great question and point. Yeah, it's difficult, especially in the marketing world. As you know, sometimes you have 30 seconds or whatnot to get in front of someone and advertise what you're doing. And there's a lot of science and research behind it, well, 30 seconds isn't quite enough to really explain why you're unique and you're priced differently and the benefits that um, are possibly involved. We have a handful of published research papers in peer-reviewed journals on our website that, again, with a little bit more time, we can explain or walk through and obviously send to people depending on who we're marketing to and explain kind of what we're doing and how the science and research is involved in it. Basically, a lot of what we did was just looking at um, how our product and the probiotics in our product will react to a gut environment, a simulated gut environment, and obviously we have to make sure it survived that environment. We've heard, of course, we have Dr. Robbins, so we have a lot of connections in the medical community. One of the frustrations we had heard was that a lot of doctors believed probiotics are helpful, can be helpful, and important. However, they've either prescribed them to their patients or recommended or taken them themselves and just had noticed extremely varying results from nothing to
Mhm.
something to maybe a lot of effectiveness. But it was frustrating for these medical professionals because they couldn't recommend something they weren't really sure would be helpful or how helpful it would be. And that's a big reason why we are focused and continuing as best we can to develop the research and the science to show um, these professionals why Doctors Biome might be more effective than um, some other competitors on the market, or why it just might have a bigger effect on someone than something else that they might be taking.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that I love about Doctor's Biome is your focus on provider partnerships. And it's so much easier to get in front of a medical professional and be able to explain so they can in turn explain it to their clients who they have a little bit more time than just a 30-second marketing ploy. So I think that's great. I know that you had partnered with some med spas, wellness clinics, nutritionists. How are you connecting with them and kind of helping them integrate the gut health into their offerings?
Yeah, that's something we're looking to do a lot more of now. The nutritionists, the med spas, the wellness clinics, those kinds of outlets. We kind of have dipped our toe in, but now we're really looking to expand into that. Um, so originally it was a lot of kind of mouth connections, mouth to mouth, ear to ear kind of deal, and who we knew in the medical community and who they could put us in front of. We've obviously grown out from that initial um, very guerrilla marketing type push. We've done a handful of either you call them either shows or meetings or kind of conferences that are medical based. So we try to do one every month or 2 months or sometimes quarter, depending. It has to obviously align with our target market and who we're talking to. So we definitely have a handful of shows. We try to do some podcasts as well that sometimes helps and gives us a longer form to explain um, who we are, what we do, and our potential benefits. Um, and yeah, there's just more. We want to do a little bit more in person, door to door, um, going to some of the wellness clinics and medical spas and explaining who we are, sharing our literature with them. We have done and can do a nice little kind of display setup for patients or people coming in to use the services so they see who Doctors Biome is. They get a special discount code. Um, we've even, because we've had to do it at the shows, we could even do almost like a demo situation where if there's a larger amount of foot traffic, we can set up a little table ourselves or a little stand or what have you at a med spa, at a wellness clinic and say, hey, come taste this, come try it. That's obviously also a big difference. We're in a juice, so you can taste it. It's not like, um, capsule powder tablet where it doesn't really taste like anything. So you can try our product pretty easily, see if you like it. You obviously get some juice also, so that has some small benefits as well. Um, but yeah, we've initially done a little push, but we're definitely looking to expand a little bit more into the kind of demo and presenting and just being in front of people in that way, because as you had mentioned, that's a lot better where you can explain to the patients and the doctors and whomever is there what you're about, who you are, and what your potential benefits is. And of course, you can try the product and maybe have a little free sample as well, which just kind of helps the recognition and the understanding kind of go a long way.
Absolutely. Well, from experience, it tastes amazing, which I have had probiotics in the past that they're just rancid, or they burn my throat, or they burn my stomach, and I haven't had any of that. It's just like a little juice shot in the morning and everything's fine, so
Thank you. Yeah, that
but
was, taste was
it's good.
a major aspect. We wanted it to taste good, or people won't take it.
You guys are winners on that one for sure. Well, looking ahead a little bit, where do you see the connection between, gut health and hormones, skin vitality over the next couple years? Because I know that a lot of our med spas that we work with and wellness clinics, they're always trying to integrate anything that they can do that helps from the inside out. A lot of the aesthetics, of course, we're working on the outside, but as most people know, beauty starts from within. So tell me a little bit about what the future looks like for Doctor's Biome.
Sure. Yeah, it's really amazing all the research that's out there. Some of it cutting edge and new, and some of it's been out there for a little while. But how much the gut and gut health affects all aspects of your body. Gut brain. There's a gut brain axis, a gut skin axis, and even more. And it's just been really amazing to see how people taking our product, not necessarily taking it for one reason or another,
Mhm.
find these benefits that they didn't expect. Clear skin, acne's kind of cleared up and stuff, even though that's not what they were taking it for. Um, but as you mentioned, going forward, that's something we'd love, especially when we're talking to be it med spas or um, people looking at from inside out. Um, Looking to highlight the research that's been done on the topic and even add a little bit of our own research in. So specifically, we don't have the money to do huge like clinical trials at this point right now, but even smaller uh trials or examples where like, hey, these people took doctor's biome for X amount of time, and anecdotally, these are what they noticed being helped out by, whether it be skin conditions or anything else, that you wouldn't necessarily expect, not specifically gut health help, but help from, just total body health. Um, so that's
I
something, I
love
mean,
it.
we're like I said, we're continually exploring all kind of areas of research, and the research that's generally out there is great, but then it's really great if we can take it and personalize it. Um, if we had the budget, I'd love to do so many different, research projects at once. It's just it takes time and money, and that it's a lot for a smaller company like us. Um, but I think that research and some customer reviews and whatnot will help us to explain to some med spa owners and other people in that space, what probiotics and what specifically Doctor's Biome can do to really help your patients, your practice, your business. And if you're helping your patients, you're helping yourself. Obviously, people are happy to come back and and
Absolutely.
use you and all that stuff. So yeah, we're excited about the potential partnerships in the future. Like I said, we dipped our toe a little bit into it, but we haven't made a major push for it yet. And that's one of our growth strategies, certainly one of our growth avenues is going to be um, in that realm, in that space.
Well, that's amazing. Well, I hope that this podcast helps you connect with multiple other partners. And as you know, we work with many, many med spas and aesthetic groups. And so we'll be definitely spreading the word for you. For those of you that want to partner with David, David, let our listeners know how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you can always go to the website, Doctors Biome, DoctorsBiome.
Well, thank you, David, so much for joining us, and thank you all for listening to another episode of the Aesthetic and Wellness Edge. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend who's passionate about wellness from the inside out. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode.